This is Creed, the weaver of your nightmares for tonight. Gather around, if you dare, for a tale of harrowing terror that will seep into your very bones. Tonight, I present to you, the Vale of Verity Street. Imagine walking down a street you've always known, but tonight, it's not what it seems. Listen closely and let the darkness take you. Verity Street. A modern marvel of towering skyscrapers, bustling cafes, and neon lights that had always sprung to life as twilight hit. It was a known hub in the city of Avellini, teeming with both the promise of dreams and the nostalgia of history. But on this particular evening, as the sun dipped beneath the horizon, an oppressive fog enveloped the area. This wasn't the usual mist that the city dwellers were accustomed to. It was thicker, and it carried with it the tang of copper and decay. Catherine Mitchell, a dedicated journalist in her early 30s, found herself on Verity Street. She had sleek raven black hair, a few stubborn strands of which perpetually shielded her piercing blue eyes. Catherine was chasing a story that evening, one that was whispered about in hushed tones. A series of bizarre incidents that had been occurring on Verity Street over the last few nights, people vanishing without a trace, windows mysteriously shattering, and haunting, disembodied cries. As Catherine ventured deeper into the fog, the once familiar landmarks became ghostly silhouettes. She could barely make out the vintage diner on her left, Joe's Eatery. It had been around since the 1940s, its gleaming chrome exterior now rusted and tainted by age. Next to it stood the newly built Halcyon Heights, a skyscraper so tall its peak disappeared into the gloom above. Suddenly, a piercing scream echoed, making her heart race. It seemed to emanate from the alleyway between the diner and the towering skyscraper. Without thinking, Catherine dashed towards the sound, her journalistic instincts overpowering her fear. In the narrow alley, she was met with a macabre scene. The cobbled pathway was awash with a deep crimson fluid that glistened under the dim overhead light. Against the dark bricks of the alley wall, a grotesque shadow danced, its shape eerily humanoid but grotesquely elongated. A sense of pure dread washed over Catherine as the shadow began to shift and writhe, morphing into multiple twisted forms. Whispers filled the air, each voice recounting tales of tragedies that had befallen Verity Street, the Great Fire of '72, the unsolved murders of the '80s, and the recent disappearances. The alley's end seemed miles away, but Catherine willed her trembling legs to move. She had to escape. But as she took her first step, a skeletal hand burst from the ground, gripping her ankle tightly. More hands followed, attempting to drag her down into the depths below. As the world around her spun, Catherine remembered a snippet from an ancient urban legend, a tale her grandmother had once told her. It spoke of a curse on Verity Street, where the anguished souls of its tragic past would rise once every century, seeking a beacon to release them. Summoning all her courage, Catherine screamed out an old hymn her grandmother used to hum, a song of solace and freedom. The spectral hands recoiled, and the looming shadows dissipated, releasing Catherine from their chilling grip. Bruised and shaken, Catherine emerged from the alley, the fog now beginning to lift. But Verity Street would never look the same to her again. And she realized she was the chosen beacon that evening, the one to confront and dispel the haunting past. While the horror of the alleyway subsided, Catherine's ordeal on Verity Street was far from over. Emerging from the alley, she found herself standing before the city's oldest library, Liber Lumina. Its Gothic architecture, complete with grotesque gargoyles and stone griffins, had always fascinated her. But tonight, an otherworldly blue glow emanated from its tall, arched windows. Driven by both her fear and curiosity, Catherine hesitated momentarily before pushing open the massive oak doors of the library. Inside, amidst the looming shelves and ancient tomes, an ethereal specter floated above a grand wooden table. The ghostly figure wore tattered robes, and its hollow eyes seemed to be fixated on a large, open book before it. Drawn to it, Catherine approached the table. The book's pages were filled with images of Verity Street throughout the ages, detailing each calamity. As her fingers grazed the pages, the images came to life, revealing heart-wrenching scenes of despair. The specter, noticing Catherine's presence, beckoned her closer. It introduced itself as Eldrick, the librarian of Liber Lumina from a bygone era. He revealed that Verity Street was built upon cursed grounds, where every misfortune was preordained in the Book of Calamities. Each tragedy added a new chapter to the book. Eldrick spoke of the final calamity yet to unfold, a catastrophic event that would erase Verity Street from existence. He believed that Catherine, being the beacon, had the power to alter the predestined fate of the street and its tormented souls. Catherine, still recovering from her earlier confrontation, decided to confront this foreboding challenge. She pored through the pages, searching for a way to rewrite the course of history. Hours seemed like minutes as she was immersed in the tales of sorrow and woe, trying to find a pattern, a loophole to prevent the impending doom. She finally stumbled upon a verse, inscribed in blood-red ink, hinting at a ritual to placate the vengeful spirits. The ritual required the beacon to gather relics from each tragedy depicted in the book and offer them at the city's highest point, the pinnacle of Halcyon Heights. With a new sense of purpose, Catherine, guided by Eldrick's spectral wisdom, embarked on a perilous quest. She retrieved a charred photograph from the remains of the Great Fire, a knife stained with memories of the unsolved murders, and a locket belonging to one of the recent disappeared souls. With the relics in her possession, Catherine headed towards Halcyon Heights, all while feeling the weight of Verity Street's fate upon her shoulders. With the relics clutched tightly in her hand, Catherine reached the entrance of Halcyon Heights. The skyscraper seemed even more imposing in the muted luminescence of the night, with its windows reflecting the distorted visages of Verity Street's past. The entrance doors slid open, revealing a solitary elevator bathed in crimson light. Its digital display glitched, showing not floor numbers but snippets of dates corresponding to the tragedies of Verity Street. As she entered, the elevator began its ascent without command. Each floor it passed resonated with the echoes of bygone tragedies. On one floor, the ghostly images of children playing before the Great Fire danced. On another, shadowy figures reenacted the unsolved murders. The elevator journey became a montage of Verity Street's tormented past. Reaching the pinnacle, the doors opened to the rooftop, which was transformed into a ritualistic circle of stones. At the circle's center stood a pedestal, waiting to receive the relics. Catherine could feel the presence of countless spirits around her, their mournful gazes fixed on her, their last hope. Summoning all her courage, Catherine placed the relics upon the pedestal. Reciting the verse from the Book of Calamities, she pleaded with the spirits to find peace, to let go of the pain binding them to Verity Street. As the words left her lips, a blinding light enveloped the rooftop. The relics began to levitate, fusing together to form a luminous sphere, pulsating with raw, ancient energy. The cries and whispers of the spirits grew louder, converging into a cacophony of voices, all merging into a singular, deafening scream. Then, silence. The light faded, revealing a transformed Verity Street below. The fog had lifted, revealing the city in all its modern glory, but free from the shroud of its cursed past. The spirits had found their peace, thanks to Catherine's bravery. With dawn breaking on the horizon, Catherine descended from Halcyon Heights, her heart lighter but forever scarred by the night's events. Verity Street, once a place of haunting memories, was now a testament to the power of redemption and the indomitable human spirit. As she walked away, the neon sign of Joe's Eatery buzzed to life, its vibrant colors reflecting on the now pristine cobblestones, marking the beginning of a new era for Verity Street. Thank you for joining me, dear listeners, on this chilling journey through Verity Street. This is Creed, signing off from the sacred Scream Sanctum. If my tales send shivers down your spine and leave you yearning for more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Until next time, let the shadows be kind to you.